Alright, let's talk Magic. So, this is basically how I hit top 500 playing nothing but Magic. I want to talk a little bit more about the intricacies of the characters and get a little bit more in detail. I want to go straight into like pros and cons. Pros for this character is that she's super versatile. Unlike some other melee characters, you can actually brawl and be an assassin at the same time. The main difference between the two is brawling is really good for tanks especially. You could be frontlining, building overshield, applying a lot of pressure on the front line. So if I have a single tank, I'll kind of try to focus a little bit more on applying pressure on the front line. And if I get the opportunity, I will try to go for a one-shot on backline. But primarily, I want to make sure that my tank doesn't get out-pressured and die. Being an assassin is a very, I want to say opportunistic playstyle, because you could be doing one thing, but then in a matter of a split second, you can just go into the backline and one-shot somebody. You want to maximize your damage, right? But if you look at the standard swing time on Magik, it's super slow. So ideally, you would want to weave in your melees. So melee or melee right click, melee portal into demon. This character is very situational, and I think what separates a good Magic player versus an average Magic player is just knowing when to use what. A big thing, especially for me personally, is you need to understand your range very well. Your basic melee range is long, but your actual basic melee is very short. You need to get really good at the timing, because there's a lot of situations where if you fuck up that timing, you will miss out on a lot of kills. I see a lot of people weaving in their abilities too much. What I mean by that is, you don't want to always have at least one portal, and ideally your right click. Now, if you need to, obviously you can use everything. The way I see it is, if I have at least one portal and my right click while I'm brawling, and I'm weaving in melees, then at any given time, I can TP past, and then I can go for a one-shot combo. But if you're constantly just spamming weaves, and you're just spamming your abilities, realistically, you probably won't kill a tank. You definitely can, but it's mainly about applying that pressure and creating opportunity for you to kill somebody else. Mainly switching your playstyles between brawling and assassin. Let's talk about some real shit that a lot of people don't talk about when it comes to Magic, okay? The higher you climb and the better players become, you require a lot of help from your team in the sense of them creating pressure for you to have opportunities to do what you're supposed to do. So like, if my tanks are constantly backing up and they're too afraid to brawl and they're too afraid to engage the enemy team and get aggressive, that makes it impossible for me to go in, because as soon as I go in, the entire team will focus me, and eventually I will run out of cooldowns, and if I get caught in 1cc, I will easily die really fast. That kind of also goes in the same way when you're assassinating people. If your teammates are not applying enough pressure to the enemy team, as soon as I go in, the chances of me getting turned on by 3 people, even if I get the pick, right? If I get the pick, the chance of me dying are super high, because 3 to 4 people will typically turn around and peel for you. So you just have to keep those things in mind, and depending on how your team is playing, you have to be able to adjust on the spot. So if you're a true Magic one trick and you don't switch, how your team plays affects you significantly. And if you're not a true one trick and you do still switch characters and you play other things, I would definitely recommend in some situations like that switching, because your life will be completely miserable and you won't be able to genuinely play your character. So like, you can learn all the tech on Magic that you want, all the combos, all the weaving, literally everything. Abusing her strengths is easy, but utilizing her weaknesses and still having value within the game, I think that's honestly the hardest part, because this character gets punished quite a bit. This character does have good mobility, especially with portals, but you're very easy to get caught out and just instantly die. This is why it's good to brawl tanks with Magic, is because you want to stack up your overshield before you go in for one-shots. Ideally, you're sitting at full overshield. I do want to talk about the ultimate a little bit. The ultimate is the biggest con in your entire fucking kit. If you ever have a straight line mentality and you ult in front of the other team and you're pushing them kind of in a straight line, chances are you're probably gonna die. I don't care if you have 400 overshield, people will turn around, you will die inside of your ultimate in a singular CC. Your ulti is a very aggressive ulti, and you can take on a lot of people at the same time. The problem with that is you need support from your team, because if I ulti and I go in and I dive like, let's say 3, 4, 5, whatever, how many people, right? If I don't kill them all and there is a few people left after my ulti. When my ulti expires, the animation is so long that generally I don't have a chance to get away. I will die primarily because I can't use any of my abilities. That animation is kind of brutal sometimes. It will get you killed a lot of times. Ideally, when I ult, I will either ult somewhere from an angle where somebody can't see me, or I will ult kind of across a wall. If this is the point here, and this team has to walk through here or here, let's just imagine this wall is bigger. I will probably just dash in the air, ult mid-air, and then TP, and then like go in from the backline. Talk about high ground and flanks. So Magik can set up in some pretty good spots when it comes to, especially like early round. Your best advantage is the element of surprise, like catching somebody unexpected on, let's say, on point or on the fucking payload while the enemy team is pushing. You just catch one of the backlines in the back. Main issue is you need to understand when to commit and when to not commit. So like if I jump from high ground, let's say I miss my dash, right? If there is more than one person here, I will probably try to get away. Me not having my dash and only having one portal at that specific moment will probably get me killed. If I hit my dash, I ideally get the kill right, but even if I don't get the kill, if it's only one person, let's just say that I miss my dash, I go in, I brawl, use my portals, whatever, then I will still try to commit for the kill, and by the time the enemy turns around to kill you, then you can easily have some of your cooldowns back to get away. This is also another reason why I say don't just mindlessly weave your cooldowns and your melees, because you want to make sure that at any given opportunity, at the very least, you have at least one portal. One thing to keep in mind with the portals, portal animation, very unforgiving. The amount of times you'll try to dodge an ability, like let's say an ultimate or maybe even a stun by going inside your portal, the animation is kind of slow. There's so many times where I'm like inside my portal and I'll still get stunned, or I'll take a lot of damage or even die. So you have to think about your portal in a preemptive way. You have to do it a little bit before something will happen, which just takes a lot of playing and just kind of getting used to when people use their abilities and their CCs. The key things to take away when playing this character: don't ever have linear playstyle. Always look for opportunities. Always play very cautiously. You're very easy to kill. Despite you feeling like you can just take on the world because, you know, overshield, melee character, that type of situation. Put yourself in good positions. Positioning is super important. Even if I'm brawling tanks, I will still bop in between my tanks so they can take some of the damage, because even at full, like I said, even in full overshield, somebody catches me in a CC or something, I'll just get absolutely decimated, and that happens all the time. Your portals are very, very easy to track. I mean, it's a big orange circle in the middle of your screen and everybody else's screen, so coming out of your portal is super easy to die. One thing I really wish they did is portals having verticality, so we don't need longer distance, we just need verticality. Your character is off-centered with your crosshair. So my crosshair is to the right here. I'm completely aiming away from the character that I'm trying to hit, but Magik goes in a straight line and then you hit your E. When you're lining up your E, think more about which way your character is facing rather than your actual crosshair. If I aim just slightly to the left of the character I'm trying to hit, I will miss by pixels typically, and that happens a lot. Alright, let's talk real quick about the Demon Summons. A lot of people are very unhappy with the Demon Summon. They say that they basically almost never use it. I think Demon Summon is really underrated. Kind of situational, right? Always good against tanks. Let's say I'm brawling this front line with my team, and we're on point, and we're fighting for point. I will TP behind the tank, and I'll drop my Demon Summon, and then I'll immediately reposition back to where I was, and just have this demon just doing massive damage from the back while I'm also brawling there from the front. There's a lot of maps where you have like these little chokeholds. Sometimes I will straight up portal, demon summon, portal, demon summon, and as people are trying to walk out, I've gotten a lot of kills and you do a lot of damage. I forget that one map with the payload. It's like a big door and there's like this tiny little hole that you come out of the wall. I get so many kills there by just literally doing this. I won't even peek, but as they're trying to come in, that demon is just like shredding them. Also in small little tunnels, corridors, any place where people primarily try to like dodge your abilities because they want to fight you but they don't want to run away. TP, put your demon summon, and it covers this entire area, so even if they're bobbing and weaving around here, you'll still be doing damage. Alright, in short, to kind of summarize, I'm sure there's things I missed. I probably should have done this at a better time where my brain is functioning. Understanding melees, understanding your animations. One of the reasons like melee weaving is so good is because you can do it fast, but the faster you try to do it, the more mistakes you make. This is something that you just genuinely have to perfect and practice a lot. I mean, I play this character a lot, and there's situations where I'll make like the tiniest error in my hits, and then I'll miss out on like a super crucial tank kill or whatever. Opportunities. Always look for opportunities. Always a brawl. This character is extremely situational, and you need to know how to use those situations to your advantage. Animations. Keep in mind your animations are one of your biggest punishments as this character. Ult animation, portal animation, ult swing animation into a charge, regular swing. I mean, these are absurd animations. Even if I'm hitting 5 people with my swings in ultimate and getting my overshield, I am getting pounded because I'm swinging so slow. So, especially in your ultimate, always bobbing your portals. Portals are super important because your cooldowns are reset on your ultimate, and you also get faster portals, or at least it feels like it when I'm playing. It's good to portal, melee, melee, portal, melee charge, portal, melee. If you can, I would definitely recommend portal, melee, melee inside of your ultimate. But if you can't, because you're just getting absolutely abused by the enemy team, then try to portal melee, portal melee. If you don't switch, you have to make a lot of playstyle adjustments versus switching your character adjustments in order to have impact and value in the game. Having value in the game with this character just mainly comes down to you understanding all your strengths and all your weaknesses, because there is very small room for error. I hate that people say like, oh, portals are so strong and you have so much movement as Magik and she's so OP. Like, you cannot make mistakes with this character, you will fucking die. Unless, like, you're just having an insane game and your teammates are supporting you and you're getting insane heals and you're getting insane POs. I'm telling you right now, from the amount of games I've played against bad and good players, especially against the good players, these smallest mistakes will get me killed. I can dive somebody on the backline and I can miss literally a single quick melee and I'll die for it. So, not to discourage you without information, I just want you to understand that you have to be very meticulous about what you do with this character and how you utilize her. So, if I can think of some other things to talk about, then I'll probably make another video. But I just kind of wanted to get a little bit more in-depth about the character, since in the last day or two I've been just grinding some rank because I didn't get to play as much. Alright, I'm out.